January is known as the Sanctity of Human Life Month, and the annual March for Life is coming up soon on the 18th. Things are heating up in one state as Iowa has passed its controversial heartbeat bill. That law outlaws abortion after a baby's heartbeat is detected in the womb. And that is now being challenged in court, and pro-lifers are hoping the law makes its way to the Supreme Court. Jenna Ellis with the James Dobson Family Institute joins us now with more. Jenna, with the new conservative majority on the Supreme Court, how does that impact pro-life legislation going up the chain?
Yeah, I think that we're seeing that a lot of states, including Iowa and now Ohio, attempting to pass their heartbeat bill, are really gaining courage with the new conservative majority because they are rightly proposing laws on the state level that would outlaw abortion. And with understanding that Roe versus Wade would have been in place with a progressive activist majority, they really weren't challenging those laws as heavily. But now that we have Justice Kavanaugh as that fifth conservative originalist on the court, there is hope in a lot of states that we will see a reversal of Roe versus Wade, Planned Parenthood versus Casey, and genuinely be able to protect the sanctity of life moving forward.
When it comes to reversing Roe v. Wade, is this Iowa heartbeat bill a good vehicle to do that?
Absolutely. I think that there are a lot of different legal avenues that could effectively challenge Roe versus Wade and that whole idea and really wrongful decision by the Supreme Court. But these types of legislation on the state level is the perfect vehicle to challenge Roe versus Wade because when you look at the Constitution, this issue of abortion is a state issue. And not only is it a state issue, but it's also one that for Christians isn't just about our beliefs, but recognizing that the limited powers given to government are to protect and preserve life for all Americans, and that includes the unborn. And so when we look at the scope of our rule of law, not only can the federal government have no authority whatsoever to legislate on these issues or decide that from the Supreme Court, but even on a state level, the sanctity of life must be protected because that's what our Constitution genuinely requires.
Jenna, we know, of course, that people on the left frame abortion as a woman's right to choose, but we're hearing that some evangelicals are promoting that narrative. Are you seeing that as a change, perhaps, in thinking among Christians?
We're hoping so. And, the Dobson Policy Center exists to provide those educational tools not only to the faith-based community, but to American families across the nation to encourage everyone to understand that the rights that we're protecting through our constitutional process are the rights that reflect really the truth of God and of Scripture. And so some evangelicals, unfortunately, will buy into the progressive narrative of separation of church and state, some of these so-called women's rights that not only don't reflect the accuracy and truth of Scripture, but they don't reflect the limited powers given to the Constitution that genuinely are there to preserve and protect the unalienable rights given to every American by our Creator God. And so what we're trying to do is educate Americans, educate our government, and educate families.
We are out of time, but Jenna Ellis, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Heather.